Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside, and joining me on the show this evening is our social media whiz king, AK, and we've got our musical expert and Big Stevie for the drum. How you doing, guys?
Good evening, Southside. Good evening, Big Stevie. Pleasure to be on with the Jack and Victor of Rangers Radio. So I'll be Winston tonight for you two, but good evening, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Welcome, troops. Welcome to Dream Team Wednesday. We're back, and the teddy bears are on fire. Come on.
Can I give a shout out to Stephen and William on the YouTube? They're like our bouncers in there, man. They're always first in at the door. There's Pacer in, so I'll give you a shout out on the YouTube channel, and also everybody listening out on Facebook and Twitter. Good evening. Hope you enjoy the show this evening. Hey, Kay, how are you, pal?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Had a wee sabbatical for a wee week there, but good to get in about the bones of the team again, and glad to come on the show in the back of a tremendous victory last night. Brilliant, Rangers. Well done.
You doing a bit of knee bending last week, no?
No, I'm already at Mera. I proposed to her years ago.
How you doing, big man?
You know me, proactive. Yes, I'm delighted. Yep, it was good. I was in the enclosure last night, and I bumped into a few old faces. My big China Tony Fagavin. Yep, very emotional when I seen the big man. We went to the first ever European convention together, and we had a great time. And it was good to see him last night. And we done the bouncy. Yes, it was magic.
A different view for in the enclosure there, for where you're normally be sitting.
Yep, it's no half, and it was right down low, and you kind of struggle to see sometimes that, you know, but look, it is what it is, and I thoroughly enjoyed it because it was a be different, and it's like you see bits of the stadium you've not been in for a wee while.
Mm-hmm.
So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And you'll always see a familiar face about the stadium that you maybe don't bump into too often as well. Sometimes, if you're in a different part of the stadium. Sometimes I used the Old Bears seat one time. He's got a cranking seat, and I've seen a few faces in there that you normally see at away games and that sit in the Govan. But aye, no bad atmosphere last night, AKA.
Certainly came across well, pal. I was watching it for my home last night, but really good. Without that UB, I mean, how much in debt are we today, guys? But see, every time you go away for him, you'll notice it. You know, the Rangers ends bouncing, and see when that crowd become vocal and get behind the team, the noise, the back of the hairs must stone up, particularly for a new guy, Antman, experiencing Ibrox basically for the first time and his new teammates. But what a debut the boy gave. Absolutely brilliant. But we'll come on to talk about that later.
Aye, it was a good fast start last night, Stevie. I thought we were on the front foot for most of the half and started quite quickly, which we'd been guilty of in the last couple of games gone by.
Well, first of all, listen, I've got to congratulate our manager. He was happy, my bunny, with what happened on Saturday. And he changed things up a bit, and he's letting the players know, look, no matter who you are or how big your name is, you're going to be dropped if I don't think you're showing 100%. And fair play to him, he dropped big players. I mean, I never would have thought in my life he would have dropped Raskin. Never. I mean, I was quite surprised when I seen the team, and I had a look and I thought, wow, Tab's out the team, Raskin's out the team. And I just thought, well, fair play to him. You know, that there was a wee bit of rummage and Bears talking and that. so has he done the right thing? I says, well, listen, once the game's done, you'll be able to tell him, and you've got to give him credit. He dropped big names, and he came through, and he got the result. So 10 out of 10 to him, fair play to him. And yes, we're quick out the blocks, and I think that was all to do with our attitude, and Saturday was the greatest in that game, and I think we came out flying. I thought we were all right.
I think it's when he dropped, obviously he took 4 players out, and he's actually put a better balance into the team, I thought, because I thought Aaron's gone to right back, who I think, as we'll talk about, I think he had a decent game in the right back position and showed a bit of energy, and we got forward, and he was getting forward in certain positions, and I think Yefty gave us good balance on the left hand side, and I think the team looked like we could move the ball better, looked more comfortable. Reiki, I thought, just the balance of having a left-footed player, and Shooter done well in that position. I thought he had a decent game as well, and he obviously captained the team on the night.
Aye, myself, Rob, and Bridgeman actually spoke about that in the pre-match show yesterday, and obviously we're not seeing how it's going to, transpire and play out. But certainly on paper, we like to look at the team, the balance, as you say, he's putting people in the positions where they're comfortable at, obviously recognising the flaws in his own system, and listen, you guys see it, we've all seen it, there is flaws in the system. It's early days because he's obviously trying to integrate his system and plans to the old guard, but obviously introducing new players into the team as well. We've not been great. We've come through a really, really hard tie in Greece, come through that one. But Saturday away performance at Fir Park, there was a lot of things he was unhappy about, as he said in his interview after it. And he was bold enough to go out there and make the strong decisions. Not everybody will agree with him, but I think he was very much vindicated with the decisions he did make, because the team went out there and performed, and they done their duty. Done their duties is what they're expecting, and he's basically sending a message to the dressing room guys: if you're not willing to go out there, and we are telling you through the week, if you're not willing to implement that in your game, you're going to find yourself out the team, either on the bench or even out the club. So you better get your act together. New players come into the team, and what a difference it made. I thought we were really, really good last night, and that's all credit to managers for me.
Certainly, I thought Lyle Cameron coming in when I was heading down to the ground, and most people thought that he was probably going to be in the team. We'd done the press conference as well, so I'll give you an idea. Most players that do the press conference normally will start or have some part, usually start the next game. Stevie, so when you were heading down and you seen the team, and you seen that Lyle Cameron was in there, and obviously looked like it was going to be Diamondi and Rothwell, I think Lyle Cameron showed a lot of work rate. I think he showed nice linkages of play, and I think he really had a good game overall until he came off. I think he tired, but I think putting him into the system and the way he worked in the left, and linked with Yefty and also linked with the gas man, I thought he was pivotal in what we were trying to achieve last night in the first half.
Yep, 100%. The wee man had some injury on him last night. He was everywhere, and he was digging away, and he was doing what he had to do. And listen, a lot of people are talking about the gas man and the ant man and all this carry on. And it's guys like the wee man who really put a shift in last night. And let's be honest, he's came from Dundee and he's not really had a run, right? So there you go. Last night, a big game with a bit of pressure on him. He's went out there and he's ran his guts out, and he was excellent. The wee man was excellent, and he played a good couple of splitting passes and stuff like that as well, showing a wee bit of maturity too, as well as being a young head. For me, the wee man was excellent. Absolutely brilliant. I can't fault the boy at all. Excellent. You're totally right there, Southside. And listen, I was absolute shocked when there was no asking in the team. I was saying to myself, what's the drama? But at the end of the day, the manager got it right. ZK says the manager made a few big decisions. We were all going to the game. We're all looking at that team and we're going, Jesus, what's going on here? And fair play to him. The manager got it right. And when I got out the car, we were all talking about it at the top of the stairs behind the Coatland Road. We're all talking. And at the end of it, I says, look, we'll know if the manager's got it right at the end of the game. When the referee blows that whistle, let's just see where we are. And we'll know if the manager's called it right or not. And he got it spot on because the team were excellent. Can be improved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can be improved 100%. Now, there's bits here that's still rusty and still needing to be, we need to work on. There's no two ways about that. It's far from a finished article, but I'll tell you what, their efforts and endeavours were, you could see they were out there last night, a total different, they got it spot on for being so did the manager.
I think last night, because we managed to keep a big control of the game, AK, in the first half, and you could probably sense a goal was probably going to come. It was building. We had patches of play, we just final ball, we just didn't get it right up at the 18-yard line and get a decent ball, but we did eventually. And it was Lyle Cameron makes a good run as well, because when Gassama's got the ball, he makes a run down the left-hand channel, takes a player away, and it allows him then to play the ball into Dessers. And then when I'm watching for where I was sitting when Dessers takes the ball, I thought at first he was going to take a touch, try and spin and shoot, but you see Gassama sprinting between the players, and what a flick into his path. It steadies himself, and it was a great goal, wasn't it?
Superb, mate. Superb. I mean, you can't understate how good that simple pass, utilising Dessers. I mean, only the ball was travelled a couple of metres, but he took out about 3 players because the guys were unaware that Gassman had made the move in behind them. Taking a touch, steadied himself, and then let the shot go and buried it into the bottom corner. But it was a really good move. You're probably right. I didn't notice that at first about the dummy move for the young Cameron, but they things are important, and I think that's maybe how he's playing that role in Raskin, isn't he? Because at Dundee, I know it's a lesser club and what have you, but Cameron's used to playing that sort of role in the team, where he's trying to kind of teach Raskin to play that kind of role. It's not a role that he's comfortable at because he sees himself as a number 6. But at this moment in time, for me, it looks as if he doesn't trust Raskin to play that number 6 in Rothwell. He's had at previous clubs. He knows the system. He knows how to play it. So for the 4 guys that dropped out the team, that's a message to them to say, you better start doing what I'm telling you to do, because at this moment in time, he's earning. So other guys are there to come into the team like say last night, and you're still to see the introduction of Mikey Moore and Thelo Ashgard to come into the team as well. So some of the old guard, again, they're going to be dropping out the team. So people need to get their fingers out. A different mental attitude, application, and sort yourself out. If you want to be there long term under Russell Martin, then you need to show the right attributes why you've been brought to the club in the first place. And if you don't, well, I'm sorry, but you'll see yourself out the door. But he's put the onus on them. The ball's back in their court, and see where it takes us.
Aye, it was a good run-off. It was a good run-off to take a defender away, Stevie. And it gave Gassman just the room just to thread the ball into Dessers, and you never know with Dessers, do you? Sometimes his touch isn't the greatest, as we've watched for a good while, and sometimes it clicks and he does well, but it was a great wee flick into him, wasn't it? And it was a great finish.
Yep. I thought his hold-up play was excellent last night, Big Dessers. Normally you're saying, God, the ball and bring people in and they can't do it. But it was excellent last night. And his wee pass through was absolutely a bit of class. You've got to give him his due. That was a great touch. And he didn't have to break his stride or nothing. He just ran onto it and bent it around the keeper. And it was good night, Vienna. And the Bears were gone mad. So that listen, Big Desert did a good game for me last night. Good linking up play. getting moving about. He wasn't just staying stationary, running about that D at the 18-yard box. He was actually making wee runs and trying to drag people with him. I thought his movement wasn't too bad last night. And I thought Big Dizzle did a good game.
He's hard up play. Sometimes we went to him, but one going straight up the middle of the park, and that's when you need him to hold the ball up. When he done it well, now you get a couple of fouls as well. For somebody that's been out for quite a bit and not had much training time or game time. But I thought last night he worked hard. He led the line, he chased down goalkeepers and that. Sometimes you're looking at him running in, you're thinking it's a waste of time, because but they all do it. But he worked the defenders, I think, and his link-up play 3 or 4 times in the game was really good.
Oh, definitely, mate. I mean, Stevie's kind of nailed it there. I think Dessers is actually taking a wee bit of breath of fresh air out of Russell Martin coming in and a new coaching regime. I think that's the attitude and application that the coaching team were hoping to have on the guys already at the club. It's a new setup. It's as if there's a cloud being lifted, because it came in under difficult circumstances. You know, the last couple of years has not been great. Obviously, Michael Beale brought him in, and then we'd come on after that, and then Barry Ferguson. So this is his 4th manager in the short term that he's been at the club. So it's different ideas, but he certainly bought into it, and I totally agree. I think his link-up play was excellent last night, bringing players into the game. But see, the big difference though is the movement and the pace. They call Mantman on one side and Gassam on the other. We've not had that. You know, I mean, he's relying on Dow up to now, and guys of that ilk, young Curtis, McCausland. You get back to last year, obviously Cherny had a good impact on the team, but you know what I'm saying. They new guys coming into the team has gave them that wee fresh impetus to, work himself. And who knows? We all thought he was out the door 2-3 weeks ago. They seemingly accepted a bid for Greece, and we all thought he was going to AEK Athens. But if Russell Martin decides, no, he's going to be my number one striker, and possibly look for Danilo getting moved out instead, I wouldn't be against that at all. I don't know about you two guys.
Aye, we'll talk about that. I'll come on to that. I had that done to talk about Dessers just a wee bit later on in the show, because I do think, regardless, we need another striker in the door. And Danilo, I don't think long term, I don't think he works as a 1. I think he can work in a 2, possibly, because I think when him and Ignaman were playing together and we had that wee run in Cherny, we were linked up playing nice football, we're scoring a lot of goals, and then we wrote Dessers back in. So I think Danilo's got to, if we could get Danilo, an Ignaman and a Dessers type player, put them all together, you'd have some striker. But we need to get probably another striker, because at the end of the day, no player in our team can really afford to go play 50 games this season. It'll not happen. I know Tav and Goldson were used to doing it, but I think now going forward, in any position, it'll be hard. Maybe centre-backs will do a lot more than others, but I don't see a player now, Stevie, being playing 50, 55 games in the one season continuously.
No, manager's already said that in his MBY, that he didn't drop anybody. The squad's going to be mutilated all the period. He's going to need everybody into it. So, no, I think you're totally right, Southside, when you say that guys like Tav and the big guy, I mean, they'll not play that amount of games again. That's it. Sports scientists now and all that don't want that either. They're the guys putting the stop on all that carry on. So, look, I'm not into sports scientists and all that. And I mean, I was playing football as a young pup for the morning till the street lights went on, and you were doing that every day if you could, not a problem. I don't get some of it, but you're totally right. All the amount of games we've got coming up, and we're going to have, whether we get in the Champions League, Europa League, there's going to be Europe during the week, and then a game on the Sunday, or however it works. we're going to be playing constantly, but that squad's going to have to be mutilated early period. There's no way in the world there's going to be guys playing every single match. I can't see it.
Nah, we need to utilise the squad. You want to keep players fresh. You need to keep a freshness about your squad. But you've got, and you will have players that are there or thereabouts. That you will.
Sorry? I'm saying he's got a lot of young boys in there. You know what I mean? So, I mean, when you're bringing, that was. Think about the bench last night. I know Raskin and all that were drap, but when you looked at the bench, you were going, look how strong the bench is. And there, AK hit it in the head. I know, we'll still get that boy Thingy. We've not even seen him yet. Would you call him? His name escapes me here.
Kazagard.
Mikey Moore.
Yep. I mean, we've done, listen, exciting times are ahead, man. See, when I looked at the two wingers just constantly gone direct, I mean, it's breath of fresh air, something I've not had in a wee while. And I just can't be, you've got young Mikey Moore in there and the other boy, you know, it's going to be brilliant, man. You've got a lot of pace and youth coming off the bench. And that's what I like about it. And it's only going to get better. The more they play together, the more they win. Winning breeds confidence. And let's hope it snowballs.
Aye, it's a different type of football. But I'll tell you today, what we'll do is we'll get the phone lines open. So odds to talk about if you want to come on and phone in the show or send a voice note in. You can also talk about the game last night if you want the result. We've got one fit, I would say, in the next round. I'd like to think that we'll be going into the playoff in Europe, and we've also got a game on Saturday against Dundee at Ibrox, and we can talk about Mikey Moore. It's still to come in a team in Asgard, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
One thing I did notice last night, AK, I see for all the possession we had in the game, we actually lost the ball up in their box and their big defender just smashed it right up the park. And we were exposed down our right-hand side. It was a one chance when they broke on us and they put it in, and Big Giga with a block, because if it probably doesn't get that block in, the boy's probably putting it in the net. It was all a hard shot, probably going into Buckland's right-hand side. He might have got done to it, I don't know, but it was a great block at that time in the game, because when we were 1-0 up.
Oh, you're right. Getting back to, I know we're praising the Dessers there and we're praising young Cameron and obviously our goal scorers and stuff, but I didn't think Big Giga put a foot wrong last night. I really didn't. I thought he used class. He strolled through the game, but he certainly recognised when the danger was there. I really like the look of him. I don't know. I know he's only at our club for a year. I don't know whether he's outside our price range or not, but that's as good as centre half. I've seen at Rangers for a long time. He just recognises danger, his stature, his physical presence, his speed. He just seems to nullify everything that comes his way, and he certainly recognised the danger there. You're right to point that out. Listen, there is flaws still in the system. We know that, and with time, hopefully that'll get less as the season goes on. But I'm still not convinced that Butland having the ball at his feet as well. Either guys, I think we're still need to kind of sort that out and make right decisions and stuff. The less I see the keeper on the ball, I think the better for us going forward. But as a defender, Giga outstanding last night.
Aye, I thought it was a big moment in the game, Stevie, because we were having most of the possession. The big tall boy up the front he got himself about, put himself about, a few dives and a couple of them were at it, I thought. But that was the one big chance for them, and Giga managed to get a great block on it. That's
what you're wanting, isn't it? That's what you're wanting, a bit of blood and guts, fling your body in front of it, just by any means keep that ball out of the pocket. That's the bottom line. That's what we've been wanting. We're wanting, and I'll tell you another thing, by the way, the big game's quick. For his height and everything about him, the big game's got a bit of pace about him too. I must have, honestly, I watched him after the ball. I watched him after the ball, and I hope we talk about the Ant-Man after the ball. I mean, that boy is unbelievable. But what you're talking to now is about that block. That was one of the ones where they had a chance, and the big in blood and guts flung everything in front of it to stop it, and it was a big moment in the game, mate. You're totally right in saying that.
Aye, because obviously goals change games at that point, and that probably would have been one each at that point, and it might have changed the game slightly, you never know, but I thought that was pivotal. He certainly put his body on the line in there, because they hadn't caused us a lot of problems, AK, because we basically kept a lot of possession, we kept probing, and it wasn't so long after that Cameron played a great pass down the line for the gas man to go into, and he got the afterburners on and took it to the byline and cut it back. And Ant-Man, as we'll come on to and talk about shortly, hit the shot, and it was cleared off the line by the defender. It would have been a great goal, but it was a great pass for Cameron, and he showed his speed to get into the byline, and it was a good move, cut back. So I think it's something that we've got something to look forward to. We've not actually seen what Gasman can do yet, really, in ability, but just know he comes on and he scores goals. So it'll be good to see what he really brings to the fore, AK, going forward.
Oh, absolutely, mate. I seen something actually earlier on the day for a Sheffield Wednesday supporter, and he was basically saying he watched the game last night. He's watched with interest how Gassama's fitted into the Rangers team for he came here, and he's saying we've not seen nothing yet. He says he's still finding his feet. He says, but he likes to receive the ball with his back to goal, because he likes to cut inside, and just doing the kind of one movement. And he's got a burst of pace, and as we've seen, he scored 4 goals already so far. So for a what was it, £2 million or something that we paid for him, he says you could be looking to sell this 2.5, whatever it was, Stevie. He says you've got a £20 million player there. You've robbed us, but it's because of Sheffield Wednesday's financial predicament that we were fortunate enough to do that. He says, but that Gassama, they were gutted to lose him, particularly for the price that we did. But no, brilliant move, brilliant pass for young Cameron to find him there, to let him run onto it. We all thought probably the ball was going out to play, but Gassama played the ball perfectly into space, and Ant-Man was really, really unlucky for the goal line clearance to get his first game away as a Rangers goal scorer as well.
Aye, it was. What did you think, Stevie, when you got to half time? We were 1-0 up. What did you think?
I'm sitting happy. I've got to say I'm happy. I'm saying to myself that this team will not keep up the pace. When the Bears come out again, you're looking for us to stay. And we came out the traps again. We just kept going and coming out the traps again. The penalty kick, right enough, we've not mentioned the penalty kick in the first half yet. So
No, I forgot about that. I just something else happened there, man. I just couldn't think. Aye, that was the one when he robbed him of the ball.
Is Bridgeman sneaked on here tonight, Stevie?
I thought.
Aye, he's not his medication.
I know. That was I'll get to that. It was some rob of the ball when he picked it up. He showed absolute blistering pace, but when he gave it to the gas man, I couldn't believe the pace he put on for when he was crossing the halfway line. He carried the ball into the box.
I'm still laughing at you having his 1-0 up at half time. You've got everybody screaming, it was 2-0 at half time, you. Oh, brilliant. But what we're talking about here, the goal line clearance for Ant-Man, or the goal, the build up. The build up when build up for the penalty. The 1-2 he plays. Ant-Man drove right at the heart of the defence. For me, by the way, it looked as if he was just about ready to get his shot away, and the referees, that's a good Champions League referee. That guy's refereed major games at World Cups and Euros and stuff like that. So he's right in a brilliant position to see where the guy's actually caught Ant-Man just as he's ready to take a shot. So for me, that's a stonewall penalty every day of the week. And the size and the height of that keeper, I don't know if you were aware of that, guys, but in commentary they were saying 6'9". That keeper of theirs was. So I'm saying to him, low and hard, and that's exactly what Dessers did. But it helps when he puts him the wrong way, I know. But brilliant, 2-0 at half time.
Listen, you've got to mention here, I know, Big Dessers, it's took a while for that penalty to get took, right? The big man's under pressure. He's had a no bad game up until then, and he's stepped up, by the way, and stuck that away lovely. You've got to give him a bit of credit for that, Big Dessers, I know. Under a wee bit of pressure, he knows if it's 2-0, granted half time, the pressure's off a wee bit. You know what I mean? But a lot of pressure on him to take that penalty kick last night, and the big man stuck it away lovely. And the gas man was too busy arguing with 3 rare players at the corner of the penalty box. I don't know if any of you've seen that.
I've seen it. They wouldn't let him stand in there amongst them. Was telling him to go out the road, wasn't he?
Yeah, I
was like that, just get out the road, because Dessers is going to score anyway, and it'll save all the hassle in case you end up getting a booking. You know, because he's already had a booking for vaulting and getting out the support last week. So you don't want to pick up many bookings. You don't know how they work this system when it actually starts. Sometimes they carry bookings for the qualifiers, or hopefully they'll scrub them all. I don't know how they work it, but I know in the past we've picked up a lot of bookings, and it's cost us suspensions going forward. Dear man, they get 2 last season. Missed the Man United second time, and so we don't want to pick up any yellow cards. But Dessers, at first I thought it looked a soft penalty, if I'm honest. It wasn't. I come home at night and I watched the game again, and I seen them pushing them in the back. Even people around about me thought, the ref gave it quite quickly, but he was in a good position. But I don't know what you thought, AK. Did you think it was a stonewall straight away when you seen it?
But what is it that Chris Boyd says, whether it's a hard-boiled egg or a soft-boiled egg, it's still a boiled egg. So it was a penalty for me. But listen, going back to what Stevie says, I know with Dessers maybe feeling a wee bit of pressure. How do you think he feels when Tavernier's on that bench going, I should be taking a better stick this away? So you're right, Stevie. Well said.
Yes, 100%.
Man,
can I say something? See, just about the penalty. I thought it was a soft penalty kick. I've got to say. And listen, any kind of, you're going at any kind of sort of speed, the slightest touch. Now, the boy did touch him, so is it a penalty? Yes. Is it a soft penalty? Yes. If it happened up the other end, I'd have been probably moaning about the referee getting a penalty for that, if I'm honest. So for me, yes, it was a soft penalty. Was it a penalty? Yes. But it was a soft penalty, That's just how I seen it. But as AK said there, the Deserts, he's probably gone, what's going on here? This is taking ages. He's standing with the ball, and you're saying to yourself, you need to score this big. And, can imagine if he missed what everybody would be saying. You know what I mean? So, and can I just get back to the gas man? Remember I was saying there he was arguing with their 3 players because they wouldn't let him stand in the edge of the D there. Now, I've got to say, Southside, he's not a shrinking violet, the gas man. He's not taking any nonsense. He stood there and argued with the 3 of them. And what I liked about him, I know, when he scored the Panathinaikos, he jumped to that barrier and he stood in front of their fans giving it, I can't hear yous and all that. And then one of their players was trying to cause it. It didn't flinch him in one. It didn't annoy him in one wee bit. And I like that about the boy too. That shows a bit of character for me. Somebody will stand and argue with 3 guys, and then he jumped the barrier at Panathinaikos. A lot of players would want to do that. He done it. He showed a bit of, a wee bit of swagger, a wee bit of, I want to see that for a player. And if the Sheffield Wednesday boys are saying we've not seen nothing yet, I can't wait. I'm going to get a seatbelt for that seat up in the Copeland then.
Aye, certainly got it. Saying that, it wasn't too good against Motherwell. Let's not be kidded. He did a couple of nice wee touches and stuff, but
they doubled up them, but didn't they?
Well, aye, had a
We're not
couple
going
of
to be able to
one.
do that now because we've got the Ant-Man at the other side.
Aye, we should have. Looks like we've got good pace and creativity down the two flanks now. And obviously, getting in at 2-0 at half time, and then we obviously hit them early in the second half. And I must admit, Aaron's playing on that right hand side with a pass inside that defender. He played AK, and Oliver Ant-Man was off. Take it down at the byline. Dessers obviously runs across, comes sort of front post, takes away a defender attraction. But the Gasmara was sitting at the back just waiting for a perfect cross, and for a long time we've actually got somebody out there in the wing that put a perfect cross in, and it was just guided at the net, wasn't it?
It was so. That the one bit of quality that Aaron showed the entire game was that pass that he gave down the line to Ant-Man, and the burst of pace to get away from the defender, look up and see who was in the box. As you say, Dessers made the kind of dummy run to take the defender away, which left Gassama and loads of room to just pick his spot in the net, and the keeper couldn't do nothing about it. So that was us. 51 minutes, 3-0. I think Ibrox was expecting maybe 4 and 5 after that, but unfortunately it didn't materialise. But that'll hopefully come, But to be 3-0 up against a Champions League opponent, I think they won the Czech League last year, and that's no feat when they're beating the likes of Slavia Prague and Sparta Prague to that honour. So that they were a dangerous outfit on paper getting into the game, but we made them look like a Motherwell, if you want. That's the performance and result that we wanted against Motherwell. So hopefully that will kickstart our domestic campaigns now.
Aye, they were organised and stuff, and obviously we go 3-0 up, and I think it was a great ball for Aaron Stevie, out inside the defender, wasn't it?
Different class, mate. Perfect weight. And what about the afterburners on the Ant-Man? He was Oscar. He gets it, he looks up, he doesn't panic, and he puts the ball right through the eye of needle, right onto his napper, and the boy placed it well. And you've got to say that's silky soccer. That's 1, 2, 3. Mendel Ted dancing 3, 2, 1. That was the opposite way about it. It was just delightful to watch. Different class it was, but you're right. The boy Arns, what a splitting pass, wasn't it? It was lovely. And by the way, Diamondi was unlucky hitting the crossbar, lads, wasn't he? That was a lovely curling shot there for outside the box. Well, I've got to give him a wee shout there.
That was just before the goal, and that was just right at the start. Just about 49 minutes or something, and then I think a minute or two later we managed to get the third goal. Diamondi, I thought, don't know if he's comfortable playing in that right hand side of the three, because he's always sort of played left, and Lyle Cameron, I know they sort of moved about a wee bit, but religiously they were, Deal was on the right and Lyle Cameron was on the left, and I don't know if Deal's a bit, if it suits him on the right hand side. I don't know what you thought, AK. Again, I know he was in the game. I still don't think he's got great control of the ball when he has it in front of him. Don't know if he can do all the wee tippy sort of wee 1-2s. He can get away with it sometimes, but I think he's a bit clumsy. When he runs, he can sort of come back, follow the ball, sort of bring it back the way. I just don't know if he's suited just for the quick one-touch stuff that that Martin's looking for. Totally
with you, mate. I spotted it for kind of early days as well. He's so left-footed, Diamondi. As I said before, the system that he played with Nordsjælland that allowed Clement to go and get him, he played wide left in a 3-4-3 setup. He's never played that position since he's came to Rangers. It's always, don't get me wrong, he's always been out kind of left, but knowing the 3-4-3 setup. But the role that Russell Martins has asked him to play on the right-hand side to, inverted, come inside all the time, he just doesn't look comfortable. I think he would get a far better performance out of him if him and young Cameron actually swapped, because Cameron's predominantly kind of right-footed and he whipped in a brilliant ball. kind of second half, but it didn't come to nothing. But it just shows you the quality that wee man that is got in his right fit, and I think you would get more out of Diamondi if you did move him to the left hand side. But see, to be honest with Mikey Moore and Theo Asgard ready to come into the team, I don't think it'll be that long before Diamondi will drop out of the team and he'll find himself kind of on the bench and then looking to make an impact coming on as a sub. But he's doing a job for the team, for the manager until the players get fit. That's how I see it.
Would you think Stevie would be better on the left? Cameron did play in the right mare for Dundee and in the sort of middle as a 10 now and again, but I think naturally if you'd swapped the two of them, although out the two of them I thought Lyle Cameron had the best game, really productive, set up stuff down the left hand side as we've spoken about previously, and done a lot of running. He played with Norger lad, I know, deal with Ant-Man, but with Dio, I think he's been a bit quiet in the last few games, but hopefully he will be fighting for his place shortly, Stevie, because I do think Mikey Moore and Asgard, when they're fit, will come in and cause problems to get a place in his team.
Competition's healthy, mate, isn't it? And that's what you want. You want somebody chase them. Listen, there's no two ways about it. He's got to get his finger out now. He can't do this 2 good games and maybe 1 bad game. No, the bad game's got to disappear now. You get left out of the team, and that only makes it healthy for us guys, and the Rangers manager. So for me, you're probably right. He's probably not as comfy out there on the right as he probably would be the left. Competition's healthy, mate. And these other boys are still to come in. The boy Asgard and the young boy Mikey, he's still to come in too. So listen, competition is healthy all over the park, but more so in the midfield. We've got a right strong midfield. If everybody plays to their potential, the manager's got a sore head on it.
I've got a feeling, just mine, I think either Raskin or Diamandi will probably leave before the transfer window's up, in my opinion. I don't think... I think one of them will go. I think a bid will come in. I think we'll take it. And if it's what's required and the board think it's acceptable. Just my opinion. Don't know what you think, AK, but I don't think the two of them will be here before the end of the transfer window.
That's a bold call, but you could be right, pal. You could be right. And if I'm honest, I think the guy who could be more upset that he's left out of the team and made to play out of position would be Raskin. You can see it from his point of view because he played really well, particularly in the tail end of the season under Barry last year, as that number 6, that pivotal role in the midfield. Well, Russell Martin's got his man in there. He's went and got him for Leeds. And the guy was a linchpin for Leeds. Everything came through him last night for me, for what I've seen. He was the guy that was, the buffer in the midfield between the defence and then feeding the forward line. And he was also the guy kind of looking for pockets of space, to nullify any danger. So for me, Russell Martin's already decided that he's his number 6 going forward. And if Raskin wants to play that number 6, it's just as coming on as a sub, maybe to keep the freshness in Rothwell's legs. So if he is unhappy to that role, and who could blame him, because he's a Belgian international and he's starting alongside De Boer and such, or De Bruyne I should say, then he might be chapping the manager's door and saying, no, I'm not willing to accept that. I think we'll wish him well, but I think we'll get a good fee for him, and then we can maybe recycle it, and who knows, it could end up a good thing if we go and get the left back that we're looking for. I heard a wee rumour the night, actually, before we come on, there's a guy that Rangers are meant to be looking at with Real Betis, a guy called Noble Mendy. We played against him as a young Senegalese defender, only 20. He's a utility left-sided defender that can play both centre left back and at left back. He was meant to be joining PSV, but a $4 million deal fell through for him for whatever reason. So if that does happen, mate, and that funds that deal, I'm sorry, but individuals come and go. out the club, and it's all about the team for me. And if that gives Russell Martin that position to benefit the team, then that's what needs to happen then. But we'll see.
There you go, Biggin. Stevie, social media win, it was kid. There's the exclusive. But Raskin for me, and Rothwell at the moment, as I said, Rothwell wasn't going to play 90 minutes. What did you think when Raskin came on? They're completely two different types of players in that sixth position, Stevie.
Aye, there. And I called the boy who was signed for Leeds, I call him Vidal Sassoon. He's always fixed his hair, you know. But listen, it's many games have we in here? Three games, 4 games. So bottom line for me is that time will tell who's who and what's what. It's too early now to think he might be the man or whatever. But I agree with you, Kay. I can see somebody, whether it's Raskin or whether it's the other boy in the midfield, any of them could go before this window closes. And I don't think if the price is right, Darovsky, any one of them, you know. So I just think a time of sentiment now and showing players loyalty and that, we've got to look after ourselves now. We've got to. It's been far too long now. We need success. We can't hang on to players and we can't keep playing Tav forever and things like that. And last night proved it, that we were excellent. We were asking and Tav out that team last night. Let's be honest, we were really good. And we were all worried at the start of the game going, oh, I hope this comes off and I hope everybody's got to... The manager called it and he got it right.
I think there's, if you recognise that your central midfielder, he'll probably play more of the crucial games, which the manager sees. And Russell Martin brought Rothwell here, and he's going to be his player. I think Raskin is better in the 6 when he's in there. But I think Raskin commits more fouls, which I've not seen Rothwell do. I thought he was a bit more tidier last night, a wee bit more involved, had a couple of wee bursts forward. But then when I think Raskin came on, he was keen of the energy. I know it was only in 63 minutes, so it wasn't like it was near the end of the game, but although he'd already been booked for the sidelines, he certainly got involved and goes and try and robs the ball. Maybe gives away more fouls and stuff. But I think it'd be good competition for the two of them if they could alternate now and again. Going forward, because I think it'd be a good replacement if Rothwell's not going to play that game, because he's looking at the next game and Raskin comes in and plays and surges the team forward in the league game. And one of them will have to put up with probably be Raskin more if he doesn't get back in the team as an 8. That might suffer, because I think Rothwell is his man, sadly. So I think in time, that's why I think maybe him or Diamandi in time will leave the club, solely because I don't think they're going to get first team pick, and I think Raskin's certainly want to stick about the Belgium national team. If he's not getting a regular start, AK, it's going to affect that, although it's all about playing for us. In my eyes, I don't care what he does international duty, but players, I think you want to stay in that national team as well.
100%, mate. I mean, as a player, you've got to be selfish. It's a short career, but if you're at a club where you've obviously the manager has changed, we all know that, and he's going to bring his own ideas. He's wanting as many of his own players into the team, and if that means that you're having to move position and you know that, I don't know how to word it. I mean, it depends. I mean, see, the like say, I get back and you'll get back as well. See,
and English would help.
Ian Durant played numerous roles for Rangers, didn't he? It wasn't just midfield. He was asked to play up front himself. At one point, he was asked to play out on the left. He was asked to play out on the right. He was asked to play anywhere, but he would have played anywhere because he's a bear. He's one of us. That's the kind of character and mentality that most of our players, we should want after them. So if Raskin isn't willing to do that and is showing that sort of, attitude to Russell Martin, that no, he's not comfortable playing that role, he doesn't want to play that role, and he wants that number 6 position as his own and nothing else. Well, sorry, I think there'll be a discussion that you need to move on then, because I've already decided that Rothwell is my guy, and that's basically it. A manager's got to live and die with the kind of strength of the decisions, and the team that he picked sent a massive message to that dressing room last night. You know, the attitude, the application. If that's missing in your game, then you're not going to play many minutes for me. So if we need to part ways and that's the best for Raskin and it's the best for us going forward, then so be it. But at least we're getting him at a good time where he's got 2 years left of his contract. If he's not willing to sign an extension of the contract and he's an unhappy player, then we're going to get maximum value for him now, rather than let it peter out. And, you know, then we're only maybe getting about 50% of a fee that we could have got now. So there's got to be big discussions made in there in the background. But for me, the individual is bigger than the club. It's always about the club. It's always about the team. And, you know, he's just got to make a strong decision now.
Stevie, between the January transfer window and next summer, right, that Russell Martin will want his complete team that he picks and players he's bringing in on the park. Let's not be kidded. That's what you want in time. If a player or two that came for the old management can hang about and bring themselves away the team, if they're playing well enough, that'll be up to Russell Martin. But that team is going to be a full team of what Russell Martin wants to put on the park in time. So I've not got an issue with asking. I just put it down to, I think he came on, he showed good attitude last night. He got stuck in, he done his job as a number 6. And if there's good competition between the two, because if Rothwell does go off the boil or takes an injury, then obviously Raskin's the right guy to put right in there as your number 6, because he's a ready-made replacement, should he not be starting. So it's good competition. It's a good fight between the two if the two of them are up for a fight to get in the team, and it's rotated well enough to keep the two of them happy, and it's no detrimental to the team.
Aye, listen, I said it earlier on, competition's healthy, innit? You want Raskin to be on his toes, you want him to go out there, you want Rothwell and all, knowing that if he doesn't have a good game, Raskin's going to just step in there and keep him out the team. That's what you want. You want that in every position. And for the manager, of course the managers want to come in. He's already put his stamp on the team, isn't he? But as you said, give him a season. He'll want every player under him that he's signed on that park. And guys like Raskin, Diamandi and people like that, if they don't, if they're playing brilliant and they deserve to be the team, fair enough, and everything else, it will want to hold on to them. There's no two ways about it. But if they start this heat skin down and not having the right mentality, well, look, if the money's right, then they'll go. It's as plain as simple as that. And the manager will have his own squad playing the way he wants them to play. And if they don't like and people don't like the tactics of what he's saying, he's made it clear last night. He's made it totally clear that no matter who you are, you're going to get trapped and you'll not be part of the plans. Simple as that.
Aye, the fact that you've got a bigger squad now, and we've signed, Ant-Man was our 9th signing, although we've not seen them all in the park at the one time, and that and obviously one or two might be, as Fernandez might be a work in progress and maybe come in on the scene maybe more next season. But I'd expect him to play a part this year at some point, but I still expect us probably to sign a left centre back as well and a left back. But that aside, AK, we made some subs, obviously. CD9 went off, we worked well, had a good game, contributed. Obviously Aaron's went off with an injury. I don't know if maybe it was a clash of knees or a deed leg or something, or hopefully it wasn't anything too serious. And obviously Lyle Cameron goes off, and I thought they got a really good ovation going off the part of the wee man for the support and the appreciation. And obviously Tav comes on, Connor Barron come on, and Danilo. What did you think of the three of them when they come on to the end of the game? What did you think of their contribution?
To be honest with you, I thought the tempo it dropped out the game, and I don't think they influenced the game much at all when they come on. young Barron come on for Cameron, as saying he doesn't offer the kind of inventiveness and the kind of, you know, going forward is what Well Cameron offers. Curtis come on, obviously, right at the end for Antman, but I think that was more a standing ovation to give to Antman for the crowd, you know, a bit of show of appreciation. Curtis has kind of dropped out a wee bit for the setup after scoring that brilliant goal against Panathinaikos. Danilo, he doesn't do what Dessers is doing, and I think Stevie commented that earlier, the difference that the Dessers did make to that front line was massive compared to the previous 3 games. So that's credit for Dessers for doing that. Raskin came on at a good time to possibly influence the game. Manager gave him a good half hour, but for me, I just thought that he was kind of looking for the ball a bit deeper than what Rothwell was doing. I thought he wasn't playing under instruction again. He was back to the way he kind of played the game last year, where he was looking to make kind of the kind of Hollywood passes a bit and no playing to like the team ethic, is what Russell Martin's doing. Where Rothwell was he was more short, sharp passes, 5-10 yard passes, where Raskin's looking for that Hollywood pass, I thought. But we were hoping it was going to be 4, 5, or maybe even 6 after scoring in the 51st minute to really put the game out of reach for Pilsen, but it didn't materialise that way. But in the bright side, he's taken off all the players that played really well for him last night, and he keeps them fresh for the weekend and hopefully fresh for next week. We're looking for Mikey Moore and Nascar to be added to the squad for the weekend as well, hopefully.
I think when you look at the quality we've got in the midfield, and obviously we're going to be up in it, because Mikey Moore will come in, maybe play off the left. He might even bring the Samara in, even one as an 8. You never know. If I see him, he might play there, he might know, but there's options. Mikey Moore might even go in there at times if you don't want to play on wide left. Obviously, you've got talking about Raskin and Rothwell rotating slightly. So Conor Barron has got a tough fight into Stevie to get back in the team.
As they have. We'll say that again. Competition. 110%. The wee man's got to find it very, very hard to get back in the team. Just the same as any of them, Southside. Any of them now, they have a bad game, they're going to find it hard to get their jersey back. So it's plain as simple as that. The squad we've got a big squad as it is to choose for. Do you know what I mean? Some of them go out the door. But the guys like that there, he's going to find it hard. We Conor Barron, he's going to find it hard. Is that young boy Lyle? I mean, he was. I'm not wanting to get too carried away, and I'm not saying he's anything like it, but just wee flashes of Stuart McCall with the engine side of things, the running, the way he was tackling and getting about people, and brilliant, and the way he was passing the ball. I mean, a couple of great wee passes for him and that as well. So he's going to find it really hard to get back in the team, Southside.
He's a certain type of player. He's not going to go and beat men. He probably goes in, wins the fight, try to win the ball, and then get it passed on to other players. But I just find that he's really going to struggle for a lot of game time this year. I think there'll be times when he might come on, they'll try to shut games out and maybe bring him on. But as for getting in the starting 11 over the next few weeks, probably a game against Iowa in the Cup, you could maybe give him a game, because I think you need to try and get some game time into some of the other players that haven't been regular fixtures, AK. I think we've got to do that, and probably the Alloy game is maybe a game where you could probably start Conor Barron.
Aye, possibly, but the kind of sad thing for me is it looks as if Bailey Rice is really dropped out of the team. I was hoping that he was going to be the kind of guy to get more and more game time, but he really seems to have dropped out of the team, which is a shame. All the youngsters in that, they're on the periphery of the team and squad, but hopefully they get game time as well. But it's a hard job going out for the manager as the season goes on.
Aye, well, it's that tune time. I believe Stephen had a request, but I've got no idea. I don't think it's tonight, Stephen, but we'll hopefully get it sorted for you in time. So if you two guys would like to go and mute, I know it's terrible, and the techie team's not doing requests here, man. I don't know what's happening, but we'll hear what they've got for us tonight. So if you two guys would like to go and mute, it's time for the tune.
Oh, will you stand? Oh, will you stand? We're the Ulster Volunteer Force as a patriotic band. Would you fight on to the death? Would you join the UVF? If you can, you're a man, then you'll stand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand. Oh, will you stand? Oh, will you stand? Would you fight for God and Ulster and to keep it British land? With rifle and grenade, would you serve the old brigade? If you can, you're a man, then you'll stand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand. Oh, will you stand? Oh, will you stand? Would you bear and swear allegiance to the flag of the red hand? Would you fight and never fear? We're the Ulster Volunteers. If you can, you're a man, then you'll stand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand. Oh, will you stand? Oh, will you stand? Oh, will you travel the road where the brave and bold must go? Would you wear the black cockade? Would you serve the old brigade? If you can, you're a man, then you'll stand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand. And when the sound of the battle is over, it's shoulder to shoulder we'll stand, to remember the brave young Ulster soldiers who fought for the flag of the red hand, who fought for the flag of the red hand.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, that was for Stephen in the YouTube channel. Enjoy that, Stevie?
A different class, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Well done, the boys in the background. Brilliant. Fantastic tune. That'll do me all night long.
It might have been hacked or something there, I'm not sure. Was the I think somebody pushed the wrong button. Took out our computer.
Oh, that old mob in the background there, they've got a cheat to tell me to calm down sometimes, isn't they?
Aye. Anyway.
Well, the big cats away, the mice will play.
Aye, Godfather's no here. Anyway, aye, so I can't remember where we were. Aye, well, Ant-Man, we'll talk about Oliver Ant-Man. Come straight into the team. An upgrade in Kieran Dowell, which wouldn't have been hard. Scott Wright would have been an upgrade in Kieran Dowell. But show's great. Looks balanced, great balance. Certainly get electrifying pace. Looks like two-footed. I think he's going to be a really exciting player, and I think we've got him on the right, and you've also got Gasmara on the left. But we'll talk about Ant-Man in a moment. Looks really promising, AKF, the wee snippet last night that we saw him.
Oh, what a start to your Rangers career that is. Winning the penalty and then setting up the goal for Gassama, and also a goal line clearance. It could have been a mere perfect night for him. Really, really impressed with him. I noticed as well, you guys would probably notice it too, more so the first half, he was stretching their defence right out to the, he'd choke in his boots basically, and we've missed that width. And it's obviously providing more space for the inverted kind of full-backs or inverted your number 8s to run into that space. So he's providing that out ball all the time, but when he gets on the ball himself, he's so direct, he's so positive, and he's looking to influence the game either with shots away or else look to set up with assists. And his stats prove that before he came here. So he was well sought after. Finland international, and I think he scored it's about 6 goals or something, about 20 odd appearances. So he's making an impact at international level as well. And I think he was just buzzing to be included in Ibrox and playing in front of that big crowd that we offer. And it's only going to be good going forward. As I say, with Asgard still to come into the team, with Mikey Moore still to come into the team. Wow, I really like that front line. We could actually play, for me, with A2 up front and possibly change formation. I don't know if that's in the armoury here, Russell Martin, to do that. But we could certainly look to, adapt it a wee bit to, get as many of the forward-thinking players on the park. But we also need to keep the back door shut. We did that last night, but there was just looking at the stats there Southside as well, a wee bit surprising actually when I looked at it. Thought it was more apparent in this, but 56% Rangers possession last night to 44. We had 11 shots on goal last night. Poulsen had 17. We had 5 on target. They had only 2. But corners, we had only 2 corners that first half, 0 the second half. They had 5 corners and both teams had 2 yellow cards. And we didn't speak about it, but what about the yellow card that Raskin got when he was at the park? Did you see that?
I seen the referee on there.
Did they pull the boys' arm?
Aye, touched his arm or something. Aye.
Barely touched him. But when
they
didn't
take much for them to get done last night, did it, Stevie? I mean, you went near them last night and they were just trapping, weren't they, looking for him? And what happened to one in the box and all, Chiga? He went down holding his face and all that, and rolling about. The ref went out and tell him to get up, They were getting down quite soft, I thought, last night, looking for the ref to do them a favour.
Aye, typical foreigners, Look at the last team we played. Look at them. Some of them were better actors than Bette Midler, man. Come on. No, some of them were terrible, weren't they? Look at the boy who got sent off. He was their best player, the right back. And for the dive in the box, he get booked and then he get booked again and sent off. I mean, the foreigners fucking done too easy. It's just all melodramatics. And you're just hoping that you get a referee to just doesn't like that in the game, you know, and punishes him for it. But aye, they were going down very easy, Southside, aye.
I know he'd had a bit of game time and stuff, but obviously just coming here, I didn't expect him to last to the 84th minute. They brought in Finlay Curtis, AK, but I mean, I thought he might have went off earlier, to be honest, but he was obviously keen adrenaline would have carried him through, and obviously he was influencing the game. And it's going to be exciting to see what he's got going forward, because like the Gasmara, we haven't actually seen what he's really got in his locker. It's only going to unfold as the weeks and months go on, and he looks like an exciting player. And I think if you keep Aarons on the right-hand side as well, and maybe you're going to bring in as a guard, or you're keeping Lyle Cameron in there with whoever to go forward in competition for places. But on the wings, I think as long as you stay injury-free, we're going to cause teams a lot of problems.
Oh, definitely, mate, definitely. And as you say, the relationships get built in with your fullback and your winger, your out ball. You know where he's going to run to and what kind of pass that he likes. He likes it up the line, obviously. But he's not even. I think he took part in half a training session. He said his interview. He spoke really well in his interview actually, but he's had a full pre-season with his previous club, the Go Ahead Eagles. I think he had a 90-minute game there last week pre-season. So he's a fit young guy, so he was ready to go and he was keen to. But how often did we see that in the past for Souness, or that would sign, or Walter would sign somebody on the Friday and they would be playing the Saturday? That's like the good old days again. Instead of signing somebody and we're not seeing him for 3 months. So I was very happy to see him in the starting lineup, as you say. Dowell drops out of the team. That's all good for us.
Can I ask a question about the Ant-Man? Was it £3 million plus add-ons?
I don't know about add-ons, but I know it was £3 million. Anyway, it was agreed fee, I think.
Right. No, because people are
about
talking
£2.5 million for. You get £2.5 million for the other winger, Gasmara. So it's a good outlay, and they look promising. Going forward, they look promising. I think they'll be dangerous. I think we'll get a lot of goals and assists, and it probably, Stevie, takes the pressure off the number 9 like Dessers. We had to rely on him basically to keep scoring, and when he missing certain chances, but he was always there to miss them, and he would always keep going. So I think we'll have other players in other positions. I think when Asgard comes into the team, I believe he'll be a goal threat. He'll be creative. He'll expose teams. And I think that's another addition that we'll have in there in the attacking sense, which might take the pressure off the number 9.
Aye. I can't wait. The boy Asgard looks technically gifted, doesn't he? The bits and bobs that I've seen him, so I just can't wait he goes in the team. But talking about the Ant-Man, I was watching it last night. I was watching his movement. His movement was brilliant. I think it was EK said there, he was right on the line. He was dragging the defence all over the place, and his movement was brilliant. And when he's on the ball, he's kind of gifted himself. He could cut in left or right, and I just think the boys, I'm going, I couldn't be any more happier leaving Ibrox last night. It was brilliant at the fact that we just signed that boy the other night. He's had a couple of training sessions. He's straight into the team. And let's be honest, he went out there and done the business. He contributed well, the boy. And for us to get him, even for £3 million, my God, we'll get my money back plus for that boy. That's a great bit of business. For these 2 wingers, you're talking just say 5.5, say £6 million for these 2 wingers. 5.5 million, 2.5 for to Sheffield Wednesday, and the Go Ahead Eagles £3 million. That's a story, boys. We've absolutely stolen because they look absolutely fantastic, man. Direct, going forward, and see what happened there on Saturday with Motherwell doubling up on the gas man. I'll tell you right now, that's not going to happen, because now we've got the Ant-Man on the other side, and they can't double up on him, so they need to shift it, and it becomes a sore heat for defences, and the directness and pace and the power is absolutely a breath of fresh air.
Stevie, Southside, can I jump in now?
Yes.
See what you're saying there about the price tag of the two players, Ant-Man and Gassama, the £6.5 million. That's what Tierney was looking for. Do you think that's a better deal that we've got two young guys there rather than just Tierney? Looks like it, doesn't it?
Especially at Tierney's age.
Mm.
You know, no being funny. I'm not going to run the boy Tierney down. He was great for us. Absolutely fantastic for us. But you've always got the injury and his age and a lot of things start to creep in. And they two are young, fit boys, young, fit men. You know what I mean? We're going to have them for a good while. So, well, unless the price is right. So, I'm not wanting rid of him, obviously. I'm not wanting rid of him. I'm just saying through time, you know, if the boys hit the ground, the wider hit the ground running the new, if they keep that up, then people are going to start to look. And I can't wait. It's exciting times. The boy Asgard, I mean, he's technically gifted. I can't wait. I mean, I really can't wait. And don't you be kidding, that mob for East End of the City, they're watching things going on and they're all going after heed about their signings and how they're not bringing anybody in. I think they've spent $3 million and I think one of their signings, what's he called, Pussy. So, that just suits them down to a T. But anyway, for me, it's all about us this season and what we're doing, but they're worried. Don't let them kid you on. They're worried. They're going on about we're not spending enough money and that. They're worried. The teddy bears are going in the right direction with the right model. And let's be honest, our manager, he's making big decisions and he's getting them right.
So Stevie, have we got Ant-Man and they've got Catwoman?
Can we not say the street term of that, no?
No. Don't want the thought police come to your door, man. You know what it's like. Say something that will get put out there and all that, and that's what they're waiting on. Anyway, listen, I think it's looking all right. I think we've got looking from midfield to front. Obviously, because we're talking about Mikey Moore, he came in and he will play a part in this season, no doubt, and he is an exciting young player and he will go and commit players, and I'd expect him to score and help assist. I think Tel Asgard is going to be the same. I'm really looking forward to seeing him and how he's going to fit into the team. We've got the two flying wingers at the moment, so we've got Rothwell, who the manager thinks will help build the team, and we've brought in Big Giga, and also Aaron's now playing on the right-hand side last night for the first time that we all really got to see him. So we're hoping to see Manny Fernandez try and find a way of breaking into the team as well. But that aside, do you think the recruitment team so far, AK, has got it all right for the manager and the manager's happy with who he's managed to get in the door by the looks of it?
I think absolutely. We'll put it this way. I think this new ownership, this new board and the director of football and recruitment team and all that is backing up Russell Martin far more than what he thought go to this stage last season for me. Everything, you know, he's implementing his style, as I've said, but he's got to get the right figures for his jigsaw to put together, and the character of the player, the style of the player. I mean, he's bringing in players who he's worked with before or who he's seen before. So he's went to a market there in England. I heard Souness in a wee interview the night saying basically he's doing what he done 40 years ago. He says people were questioning me why we're bringing up players for the English League. He says, well, I predominantly played most of my career in England. Russell Martin said that predominantly most of his career in England. So he's recognised, certain players that he's already formed a relationship with. He knows the character of the player. He knows the qualities it can offer the team. And him and Thelwell, that's the kind of market they're going to. And people say, well, why are we going to the lower leagues of the English leagues? That's still higher leagues than what the SPFL is. People don't recognise that. I mean, Rothwell was the linchpin in that Leeds team that won the championship last year. Now, that's a higher standard of league than what we're playing in the now. So that's a bonus for me, that bringing him in. But he's bringing in players that he trusts, more importantly for the manager, and the more new players he's bringing into the team, you know, that he's bringing them in with a purpose, and it's up to the old guard to adjust. And if they're not willing to adjust, well, that's where you find themselves out the door. But Stevie touched on it earlier, we're top heavy with our squad, Southside. You know, we still need to get ready. Deadwood with Ben Davies and Matondo and Cifuentes, Ridvan. There were talk of that's fell through a wee bit again with the Turkish team. But if we could get another 5, 6, 7 players out the door, which could possibly free up a wage or even a transfer fee to bring in others, then that's all good. But he can't do everything in one transfer window. But the players that he has brought in, probably Cortez aside, I'll still say, because that's 4.23 million. But that was a deal already agreed. That was an obligation to buy for the previous. So we're kind of hamstrung a bit with that. But the rest of the transfers, big plus signs for me, big ticks.
Obviously, Aarons and Giga are biding his time. There'll be 2 players that I think will be out of price range, Stevie, for what they've been valued at. And what they could command for a team in the Premiership going into their clubs and trying to buy them. So I'd imagine they'll be well out of our price range. But they too, with a stopgap for a season with a view to get another centre-half on the radar that we can bring in, either in the summer, for next summer or in January transfer window going forward. And obviously we're hoping, I would think, for the price tag that we've paid for Manny Fernandez, that we're hoping to try and progress him into the team as well to help competition for places.
Aye, look, it's one of the ones, and we're getting these players on loan, and we're hoping to get the bug. You know, we're hoping that their heads down, and if they play well, we're never going to be able to get them. And obviously, if they're not playing well, we don't want them. You know, that's a good thing about a loan. But listen, usually we can't compete with the money these boys are getting down the road. Can't know. There's just no way we can do it. It was the same with what was his name? The big colour chap in the wing. We liked him and we couldn't afford him. And
Sima.
all that. Aye, Sima, that's him. Aye, and I'd have loved to have seen Big Sima, you know, and it was just one of these things. But we just can't compete. The TV money down the road, and we get up here for winning leagues and all the rest of it, you know. It's just night and day. And unfortunately, even if these boys did get the bug and they loved the Rangers and wanted to stay, we just couldn't afford the money that the clubs are going to be asking, you know. And it's just mental money. I mean, an average player down there's what, 10 million quid? Or more, just an average player. You know what I mean? And our highest ever signing was Flo, wasn't it? 12 million. An average player down there is 10 million quid. 10 million pounds just for an average player, man. It's just crazy. And if you get somebody that's hitting the ground running, you're talking, you can go for anything with 30 million quid to 60 million quid, you know, if they're. I mean, Man United, nearly every player Man United seems to sign roughly around about 60 million quid, isn't it? This is just unbelievable.
The markets just went mental. No, the players there's no players worth that amount. You know, it's just stupid. But it's the market we're in the world we live in, due to the TV companies and all that paying the big bucks. But I think so far, if we're looking forward to try, I think we'd probably be happy as a support. I think if we could offload some of the ones that are there, as we've all spoke about, and also talking about offloading, some people sometimes can talk about things. So, Davey, and how you doing, Davey boy?
I'm doing fine, guys. How you doing, AK? And Stevie for the drum.
Hi, Barbie.
Evening,
how you doing, Davey boy? All right?
I'm doing fine, guys. Just getting old. I was just thinking of you, Alec, just when Rangers scored their third goal, because the pre-show before the game last night, you were saying you had a bet on, and you had 3-1, and when they scored the third one, I went, Alec, I hope your bet gets pumped.
Thanks, Davy.
Did he take a goal against the Rangers, Davy?
Oh, big time, mate. I'm sick.
Oh, what's wrong with these people? He needs to go to HR. He needs to go to HR.
Is he furious with Burnbank, AK? Betting against a goal against the Rangers? What's happened to Burnbank when you're doing that? No way would you.
Up to odds, Stevie. 16-1 it was, 3-1 for Rangers to win. You'd have done that before the game, surely.
No.
I'd have took 3-0.
Shocking behaviour. Thanks for exposing that. Thanks for exposing that, Davy.
Aye, well, it was the first thing I thought about when the third one went in. I went, oh, you're dancing. We need to keep the door shut. And I said, Alec, I hope your bet gets humped.
What did you think last night, Davy? A few players would have stood out for you.
Aye. Well, it was there for everybody to see, wasn't it? I'm going to bring this up. It's probably totally irrelevant, and I think it's just the way football clubs work nowadays. I was pretty disappointed when Tavernier got captain's armband. I know that sounds petty, but I don't know why Suter should have gave him that. I know he's officially supposed to be the club captain, but I thought Suter should have kept the armband. Anyway, it was irrelevant to the way the game panned out. I thought actually, I was all with the manager when he said we've puzzled out a wee bit in the last 15. Now, that's the second game in a row. I think a couple of the subs, wee Barn to me, he'll give you a shift, but he's a bit rash, and he was getting away free kicks, and you can't do that in Europe about 25 years out. So I think we need a wee bit more subtlety in the midfield. Could be wrong, but I don't know what you think of that, guys.
Just think when you said that, Davy, 25 years out free kick, I was thinking the AK going, come on, just bury this in the net, man. Come on. What do you think, Stevie?
Oh, listen, I'm not going to completely rip him up, but first of all, he's not at Ibrox. That's a bad move. And then putting a goal against the Rangers, Jesus, we'll leave it there. Mr. Kelly would have been. Wait, Mr. Kelly finds out he'll pop up and tea. He's there.
I
think we sort of dropped a wee bit, Davy. If they hadn't they had a chance to get a shot, but when parried it out of the bar, they were trying to be a wee bit more adventurous. But to me, you try and do a bit of game management and all. You try and keep the ball. You're up 3-0. Keep it tight at the back and try and make the passes. And if you can catch them out again and going forward, I think you could have maybe tried to nick your fourth goal. But I think at that time when they came on and they although it was 73 minutes when we made the 3 subs at the time, I think better game management, Davy. I was thinking Mary. And I think it gave us a chance to try and play wee patterns of play, just to know so they know what they're up to and where they should be. So I thought it helped that way as well.
You're spot on, so spot on. I just felt when we sort of puzzled out a wee bit, it brought them on to us. So not let them sort of think that maybe if we get a goal here, it'll not be such a big clawback when they get back home, but it turned out great. And the good thing is, I don't know if it was Alec or Stevie said it, the thing that looks great now is the players that we've got coming in. But I'm worried about the ones we need to get out, because that's holding us back an awful lot. And whether we can manage that, I don't know if we've got enough time to do it. But if that happens and the ones that we do come in, I mean, it's looking smashing. I must say, it was really good, lovely, good football. And the wingers, what a difference. Well, and that boy put in some ball for the wee winger. He just banged it in with a napper, Fantastic goal, fantastic.
3 European games, 4 goals, Davy.
Aye.
Just Mara.
Aye, and I mean, and they all get on about Dessers, but I'd still say, maybe I could be wrong. This is a great thing about this show. You can say what you think, and you might not be right, and people not agree with you, but you get a chance to speak about it, and it's great. I think Dessers has been lacking people up round about him to really see him, because the buzz he was getting to his feet, Danilo wasn't doing anything with him, and it showed up in Murrow as well. But that wee pass he slipped through to the old gas man, I mean, that was perfect. That was a wee bit of real Brazilian stuff there.
I think we wanted to see as a support, we wanted to see Aaron's on the right-hand side just to see his capabilities, and I think he done well last night. Davy, and I'll come to you, Kay. Davy, I think he done really well in the right-back position. That was some pass he played in between the defender for Ant-Man to run onto for a third goal. He's done it a few times, actually. It wasn't just that one. He knocked off a few balls down the line that were really good. And I think Yefty gave us a better balance on the left-hand side. And I thought he'd done some good stuff, and I think he done well. And I think it was good to see him on the park, and I think it gave us that better balance as a team. And I think he worked well with Cameron, and I think he worked well with Gismara down that left-hand side as well. I think the three of them done well, Davy.
Yeah, just coming off mute there. I was just agreeing with what you said about wee Cameron. I think he's just maybe not on the light side, but I think he'll use him sparingly. I was surprised to see him starting, but the wee man was outstanding. But I don't think he wants to burn him out. I don't see him say burn him out because we've only played 3 or 4 games. But he's protecting him for what the future holds for the boy. I think that's a good thing.
Well, I think going forward, I think we all agree we need to try and get Ben Davies out the door. Somebody try and get a club. Hopefully somebody comes in for him soon and we can agree something. I think the same with Cifuentes. Need to get him somewhere. Matondo, I think we'll probably be stuck with him probably after the window. I hope no. But I just get that feeling there's always somebody going to linger about, and it's possibly going to be him. And Ridvan probably has to just go and pick a club. He wants to get back to Turkey. Just get yourself sorted so we can agree a deal with somebody. And get some money in, because we're top heavy, as we spoke about, AK with players, and I think they need to. And if Danilo isn't going to be long-term plans going forward with the club either, then he's another one. Obviously, Leon King, he's a young boy, he wanted to get me going and play football, he will need to go and all. But Danilo is in another bracket, because if we are really looking for another striker, and if maybe Dessers is the one that goes, then we might need to look at trying to get 2 strikers at some point, because we're unsure about who's maybe going to go up in that strikers department. Dessers is just back, AK, but basically we're playing with a third choice striker at the start there in the pre-season friendlies and that, against Fern in the European game.
Panathinaikos, aye. Listen, I know what you're saying. I actually jotted down a quick list there who I'm hoping that we do put out. I've got a kind of, I'll read you in a minute, right? The players that I'm hoping that we punt, we sell before the end of the window. I think Matondo is top of the list for that, with Cifuentes, Ridvan, King, Ben Davies and Dow. I think they 6, I think we should be telling them, just get to, if we can fund clubs, just get to. I think Cortez has been a major mistake. I really do. I think we're looking to put him out on loan. For me, I don't see him feature under Russell Martin at all. Danilo, and I put Rice into that bracket. That boy needs development. He needs games. So if we can put him out on loan, I can't see him being part of Russell Martin's plans in there when he's got young Barron coming on ahead of him. And now the question marks are coming there, the future. Is Raskin going to accept being a bit part player and fighting for a jersey? Is Tavernier going to be a bit part player and fighting for the jersey? Are they going to be accepting that? And what's the situation with Igaman? Is he really injured? Or are we just holding him back so he doesn't have an injury? It's going to be a massive month for the recruitment team. With the guys for me that they mentioned going forward, because we also, if we're getting bodies out the park, we still need to keep the strength in the bench here. because when we're making changes, we want, one for one, if we can keep the quality within the team. And for me, what was apart last night, the quality coming off the bench wasn't the quality of the player that we're replacing on the park, and that's just us early doors. But that's just my thoughts. I don't know if you think yourselves.
Davey?
Sorry, what was that? I didn't get the gist of that there.
The list of the players that we've got sitting about that we should go and Matondo's top of the list.
Yes, I can only agree with that. He has brought absolutely nothing. So he'll be one of the first guys on the list. I said it earlier on, we've got some size of squad, and but you're on the training field and all at the Rangers training centre. It must be hard for Russell Martin to organise and sort that. I mean, that's it must be at least 30 odd anyway, yeah? At least 30 odd. They're training with
I've got a big pool.
These guys. Aye. So for me, listen, it is a wee bit of a worry, as David would say. That's a lot of wages tied up there. That's a lot of wages, and it is holding his back. Well, it's no up to now anyway, but and very short coming up, it will become a bit of a headache because we've got to try and shift them during this window, and you might get one or two surprises get out the door or all, but I'm pretty confident with the guys that I'm seeing coming in. They're all young men, they're all fit and ready to go, and I just hope and pray that the model continues like that, because we'll certainly, if these boys are hitting the ground running the way they are, we're going to get a fortune for these guys. And we just need to thin that squad down a bit. It's plain and simple as that. Matondo, £5 million, wasn't it? Deary me. He scored one goal against them, I think, and that's... I can't even think of any other highlight if I can cast my mind back, and he's been out on loan and back, and what a waste of money. What a waste of time.
Aye, it's money that's just going out the club and wages, with nothing in return. And obviously, Russell Martin's made it clear to a few of the players that they want them to go and find other clubs because there's not going to be park going forward. And it's down to them and their agents to try and hurry up, and obviously clubs need to show interest and stuff, but at the end of the day, we need to hopefully that they're going to find clubs and move on, and then we can maybe add to the squad. I think we might still add anyway, and hopefully they'll go near the end of August. If it's going to take that long, we'll still get rid of some of them, Davey. But at the end of the day, I think if you're looking at the squad now, I think probably we all thought we might get a new goalkeeper, which at the moment we haven't added to. So you might find that we'll go with that. I think we could think left-sided centre-back, left-back, and then the board and Russell Martin know about the situation with the strikers, but he has clearly said that only one bid's come in for CD9 and they knocked it back. So going forward, I think, what would you think, left-back and a left centre-back would be more urgent, and we could maybe, if we don't add to it before the end of the window, we go with what we've got.
Aye, I agree with you totally there, Susan. Aye. Regarding Cortes, correct me if I'm wrong, did we took him on loan, but did we just buy him there recently?
Aye, we had the loan extension and then we paid the $4 million for him.
For example, we paid for him $4 million. Mm-hmm. I don't think that boy's either that, or he's got a big dose of lack of confidence, because whenever he gets the ball, he doesn't seem capable of doing it. Coty proves me wrong, but I agree with what you're saying there about who we should strengthen. But I've said for a long time, I think you've heard me saying it pretty every 2 or 3 years now it's been going on, that everybody says we're a work in progress. I say it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and there's a lot of the jigsaw puzzles missing. And I started looking at now where we are, I can see that jigsaw coming together.
Aye, it is. And like I say, we've already talked about the two players that we're hoping to see come in shortly. We've got Dundee, and we've got the European game, and then we have Alloa in the Cup. and there might be a chance, although we went out to the Dross before, as we all know, with Queen's Park, but you think Alwa come to Ibrox in the Cup, that we could maybe get Asgard on the park, probably get Cortez and Curtis on the park, because you don't want to always play Ant-Man and Gasman, because we've a European game coming up and stuff, so we should want to keep refreshing the team, and maybe a game to play Fernandez at centre-back, either with Suter or with Giga. I think there's things like that we can do, AK, over the next 2 weeks. We can certainly put a freshness into the team before we play either Bruges or Salzburg.
No, you're right, and the manager intimated that in his post-match interview last night, that even this weekend to expect changes, because he's not going to be playing the same team week in, week out. Now, that could work a couple of ways, because if you're chopping and changing the team, you might get inconsistent performances and inconsistent results. That's the last thing that we want. But he's got to look at it from a managerial point of view to try and keep the squad happy, to try and keep the amount of players happy. They want game time, so the only way he's going to see them and see what they can bring to the table is we give them game time. But as you say, if it's the quality of the player that Mikey Moore offers and Taylor Ascott offers, I don't think you're going to see a reduction in the level of performance. Certainly, but it's up to others to also step up to the plate. If it's Cortez and that's still part of the plans, because we've just really bought him. But I don't think he'll be part of the plans. I really don't. But it's managerial calls. As you say, there might be players there, fans' favourites, moving out by the end of the window, and that would be free cash that we could recycle to go and get the players that he wants to fill the positions that you've already said, i.e. your left centre back or your left back indeed. But Big John Suter's up for a contract renewal as well. He spoke about that, spoke well. That's the words that he spoke is basically what a Rangers player should be saying, that he loves being part of the club, and it's a privilege and a pleasure every time that he pulls on the jersey. Whether he's saying all that for the heart or whether he's saying that to get a new contract, is he worth hanging about for another year? Big Suter's honest, reliable defender. I think he's the worst to keep about, but what do you think yourself, guys?
Stevie.
Listen, he's no blessed with pace, Big Suter, right? But one thing he does, he gives his all, he tries his best, man. And he would have been proud being captain last night. And somebody, I think it was all Davies, said he didn't like the fact that they take the armband on and give back to Tav. But that's just modern day football. Tav is the captain of the club and he showed them respect and get on. But no, listen, I've seen Milk turning quicker sometimes than Big Suter. He's no blessed with pace, but one thing about him, he'll put his head where others won't, and he'll give his all. And to that end, for me, I do believe he did say in his interview that he loves the club, he loves being there and everything about it. So that's all we can ask for, a big man, So he's there. The other boy, Fernandez, comes in, or it's Hernandez, isn't it? Fernandez. So when he comes in and he's playing with the other big boy, Suter would be a good sub to bring on if the other boy, if that's the way it's got to go. It's got to be horses for courses, different big games. Each game's got to be different for the defence as well as the midfield and the forward line, I would say. So there is going to be games where Big Suter will get rested. So we'll just need to wait and see how it comes.
I think I would be thinking, Davey, is if we go out and buy a left-sided centre-back, a proper left-sided centre-back that's going to come in and play, and Russell Martin's he's going to be a starter, then he's going to have a problem, because Giga at the moment, although he's up and low, he's playing well on the right-hand side. He's got good speed and that. He had a really good game last night, great block at 1-0, because I went down to one each. So he's looking the part, the big one. So John Suter would probably have a problem trying to get in the team.
I know he's coming for you, but I mean, the thing is that when you've got a player who's going to, if you're not going to buy the guy, and we've got guys coming in at centre back on loan, big suitors a signed player, and I would stick with him now anyway. To see who's coming in, you need to wait to see who's coming in. If they're going to get a centre back and pay some decent money for him, I think he's got a big problem in his hands keeping himself in the team. But that's for another story. But see this Iggerman. Is this what is the problem with this guy? Are we trying to just keep him in cotton wool to get rid of him, or is he genuinely novel?
Seemingly had just a wee injury and he's likely to be back in training shortly. But then nobody really asked him again. I don't think much about, is he really injured? How long do you expect him to be out? Same as when Asgard was, you go to press conferences and they don't really ask certain questions that you hope they might ask, so you've got an idea about things. But thought Asgard, I think Asgard possibly playing Saturday. I think we might see him on Saturday, and if we don't, then I would you'd be expecting it to be the Alba game, because I don't think he would feature in Europe at all in the second leg. So yeah, and you're looking towards the Alba game, but that's probably taking him into 4 or 5 weeks out, I think, since that injury. So hopefully he'll come in and get some game time. But I think we've got to use some of the fringe players, and I think we'll carry. I think we'll carry the two wingers. You can go on about Cortez and Finlay Curtis, but at some point you can't keep burning the two wingers out. So they're going to come out in certain games or maybe no start, and that's when you're looking to put one of the other wingers in there. Mikey Muro obviously came in and can go and play on the left, because predominantly when he played for Tottenham, that's where he played, on the left. So somebody has to go and play on the right, and Cortez or Finlay Curtis, I think, could spell. Ant-Man should be one to rest him and no start him, or should we be taking the two wingers off? Then they two should be the two that should be able to come on. AK?
I agree with your theory, mate. Asgard's actually been took out the European squad now to allow Ant-Man to come into it. Probably because of the injury, and he doesn't want to rush him, so there's no point in rushing him just to get Ant-Man in his place here. But it's not a finalised squad as yet anyway, until we actually either qualify for the Champions League group stages proper, or else the Europa League. So that's not a necessity. But I agree with your theory, mate. I think Mikey Moore and Asgard will rotate with Gasman and Ant-Man. You know, so it's good options. I mean, there's 4 quality players, and it's trying to keep them happy. As I say, I don't know where he's got it into him, that he can change his formation to get as many forward players as he can on the park at the same time. But it's a hell of a good option. An option that Clements didn't have in Gio, and you go back further managers. It's been a wee while since we'd wingers as good a quality as what they've got on the park, and offering the attributes to the manager. So it's a good headache to have, definitely, mate.
Aye, we've had all sorts. I play out there on the right hand side the other years. We even had Roof out there playing right side. We've had Tadji out there playing right side, Aribo. You know, so it looks like we've finally nailed down a right winger, Davy, and somebody for £3 million in a 4-year deal, and we believe possibly a year's option. We can trigger with that. So he's looking promising, but he's not going to be. We can't afford to play him week in, week out. So we're going to have to interchange him. So at some point, somebody will have to come in and spell him. So that's down to the fringe players, whether it be Cortez or Curtis, unless somebody comes in and tries to get Curtis on loan, which I think somebody might try that if they don't think he's going to get a first team game, and we might loan him out. And the same with Bailey Rice. We might have to put him out on loan at some point if he's not going to be in there, unless one or two of the midfielders get sold. Somebody comes in and wants to buy them, i.e. Raskin or Diamondi.
Yeah, I was really amazed with Ant-Man, how I mean, I think he'd been playing in that team for about 2 or 3 months, and the way his confidence was, and I mean, he didn't even hardly know the setup, and he got all the passing going. He knew when to go, when to no go, and come back a bit. I mean, it was great to see. So that's very encouraging. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of them in together and getting some good results. So can I ask you this, Suicide? I take it if we qualify, if we get through this next game to the next final qualifier, are we still guaranteed like Europa League?
Aye.
Yeah. I was wondering, I wasn't sure. I heard a lot of, they seem to have changed a lot of this. If you don't get this, you're doing in the conference, and if you don't get
It was
that,
just the first round. It was just the first round, Davey. We had to went down and played a qualifier. I think we get about £5 million if we can get by this round. So we're 3 up, and I believe we'll score earlier next week. So I'd like to think we'll go out and just get a professional performance and get in the next round. And then Bruges 1-1 the other night against Salzburg in the first leg away from home. So they've got the second leg next week. So it'll be Salzburg or Bruges we can get. And if we can get past them, that's us into the Champions League, which I like to think for all our endeavours over the years and all the coefficient points that we've racked up will actually maybe benefit this time, Stevie, although I can imagine with the Champions League package all coming up for the 3 games anyway, I can imagine. What'd you think, Alec?
She gets
That must have been some tweet Stevie done there.
Goodness sake.
So what do you think, AK?
I think the big man's tired.
I think he's choking on a big pie. I think that's what it is.
Can you talk for eating?
Where was the question?
I don't know.
Salzburg and Bruges and that.
Salzburg and Bruges, aye.
Right,
I said for all our endeavours. For all our endeavours over the years.
Sorry, on you go.
No, for all our endeavours and all that, I think it'd be good if we can just get through and get by this next one, Bruges and Salzburg. I think it'd be good for the club, get a huge boost, and then hopefully we could maybe get another signing or 2 in the door to help out. But still, the bread and butter's got to be the league. We've got to be consistent in this league. Totally different football for the European nights, as we've seen the style of football. And we really need to get up for the fight in the league games, I think, AK.
Aye, you know me, mate. Domestic stuff is front and centre all the time. I think we've kind of taken our eye off the ball, and maybe the previous owners is, told the manager, you need to get this European money. It's vital for us to, basically operate as a club going forward. I'm pretty sure if you posed the question to the owners or the manager, I think they would look forward to Champions League participation, but I'm not so sure the support would look to, because the last time we went there, we obviously, things didn't go our way, but we want to compete against the best, and if you need to go in there and take a few punches in the nose and stuff, then so be it. But if we're getting 30-40 million in the coffers to start with, then that's a good way to utilise and recycle it back into the squad. It's all about levels. I mean, the Europa League has been good to us over the years. The Champions League business are good to us, but getting there and the finances that it brings to the club to possibly strengthen the team, and you're on that platform, then that is a good thing. But it's not a good thing if we're getting pumped and then the players kind of take a hit mentally and stuff. But that's what it's all about, pal. You play at the top level. That's where you want to be. That's where you aspire to be. You go to take things and prove. You never know. We could upset others in there, but what it'll be will be. We'll just need to get by Pilsen first and then see what happens.
Aye, if I've got one fit by them, I'd like to think, let's be honest, they should be able to go there next week and get the job done. And then it's either Bruges or Salzburg. And I think we deserve to try and get to the Champions League this time, Stevie. Kudos for the club. Well, the owners will be happy. We can wait and see how much the Champions League package will come in it for us. It's going to Ibrox.
No doubt it'll be a fortune. Listen, Salzburg, they're getting beat 1-0 for the first leg with Bruges. I watched that earlier on and I didn't think it was a great game at all. But you'll be right. So if we can get into the Champions League, that's the job done as far as the financial side of it is, isn't it? That's where the big box is. And no doubt we'll get destroyed with a package. We have, at least, 50, 60 quid a game anyway. So we'll just need to wait and see what happens south side. But Salzburg are getting beat 1-0 and they're in patch right with Bruges. So it looks like it might be Bruges back at Ibrox again.
Aye, we did say that, Davey, when we done the friendly. We could end up getting them at some point if we can get when we get into the latter stages of the qualifying. It looks like there's a chance. Salzburg looked no bad, and I've seen bits of it. Salzburg looked quite good. They were young and they were quite positive at home, but Bruges played their passing game. We've seen them do at Ibrox and they went up the park and obviously scores. So they've got 1-0, but it's something to look forward to, Davey. We've got to get obviously by the next round. That's the next thing, but Dundee and Saturday at Ibrox needs to be addressed. We need to keep the tempo up. We need to make sure we're on the front foot. And we need to make sure that we get the 3 points and hopefully a good performance, just to build momentum.
I think over the couple of European games, but we've got by the hardest hurdle of them all was Panathinaikos. I think if we should see this other mob up, and then we should. Excuse me. It's anybody's game, I think, against either Bruges or that other, but so we'll take it there. But as you say, Saturday's what it's all about, and we've got to win for the league.
Well, aye, that's the most important thing. I think to all the support, Stevie. The league's the bread and butter, and I know we're still trying to start a new formation and a new system and new players, but as Russell Martin's alluded to, we all know we've got to try and keep winning in that period of time anyway. It's still about winning.
Aye, we need to listen. That's what the squad's all about, innit? We need to make sure we're bread and butters. We need to win games, win leagues and start winning cups again, and hopefully it snowballs. Europe's always a bonus, innit? Getting into the Champions League's a bonus. Then it's about making sure you don't embarrass yourself when you're up against the big teams that are spending £100 million on players and stuff like that. So there is a gap, and the gap's getting bigger, and we just need to make sure if we do get into the Champions League that we don't get embarrassed. The job done. I mean, the money's over there. The TV money alone, it's unreal, isn't it, once you hit that Champions League. So they've had a free belt at this for years and years. They should be like miles and miles, light miles ahead of us, and they're no. I mean, they're that team we played last night. They're that rotten. They're three better places than them in Europe. You know what I mean? So they can't be that bad a team. I listened to a couple of boys in my work the day. They were a bad lot. You were playing. How come every time Rangers play well, they're always up against a bad lot? Do you know what I mean? So for me, anyway, getting into Champions League's job done. We're waiting the packages dropping through, and it's just about keeping ourselves right. No going there and getting hammered in any shape or form the way they have been in Europe all the years.
Aye, certainly. Davey, we've came to that time of the evening, mate. So, what's your last words, pal?
Aye, great show, guys. Great to speak to the Three Musketeers. And sorry, Alec, if I shocked you.
Don't worry about it.
But I couldn't resist it. Obviously, no, I hope your bet's quick and pumped. Anyway, that's terrible.
Oh, Davy's
actually, hey, see when Stephen the Whistle went, I opened up a box of Maltesers and this is her lines, Alex. Anyway, it's great to speak to these guys. I'll catch up with you. Take care. God bless you, Jazz. Good night.
Thanks, Davey, for calling in as always, mate. Appreciated. You're welcome on here anytime. So, AK, last words.
I enjoyed that show tonight with Jack and Victor as usual, entertaining. Look forward to Saturday even, with Dundee coming. I'm just hoping that Big Stevie hasn't got Stephen Presley in his ear. What's asleep? With his team talk.
Can I just...
Boys, well done.
No, thanks. Can I just thank everybody out there on the YouTube channel for listening tonight and taking part. Also, everybody out there on Facebook and Twitter just listening to the show. I'd like to thank you all for listening in this evening. Thank you, AK, for helping us out do the show tonight. Thoroughly appreciated and thoroughly enjoyable. Big Stevie.
Aye, brilliant. Good being on yourself and the Burnbank's #1. You know, it's brand new and it's a great wee platform, mate, and that's what it's all about. Listen, things have been hard for us last season and that, but we're seeming to see a wee bit of light here at the end of the tunnel. Let's just stick with the plan, get behind the team, the manager, see where it takes us. Thanks for having me.
Aye, no, thanks for coming on again, mate, and helping us out. Thoroughly appreciated as always to be good. Always a good time in your company, pal. And I'd just like to thank everybody. It's Davey again for coming on and saying his part tonight. Thoroughly enjoyed him coming on as well. We'll be back tomorrow between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. And as always, hopefully we'll go to Ibrox on Saturday and we'll see a Rangers victory. It's time to ramp it up now. Keep a good fuel factor going. It wasn't great, but it wasn't perfect, but it was decent last night. So hopefully we'll see better performances and more goals. So as always, there's only one team and one crown. Take it away, Fox.